My father, Partha Sarathi passed away on the 16th of January 2024, precisely on his 68th birthday. Here is an overview of Baba's life, what he meant to others, and what he meant to me. The first chapter of Baba's life was in Kolkata. He was born on the 16th of January 1956 to Dulal and Gauri Das, and had two younger sisters, Lali and Lopa. Baba talked about his childhood fondly, surrounded by a large, loving family, being the oldest grandchild on his mum's side of the family. In particular, he often talked about his times with Bua Mamu, his mum's younger brother. It was he who gave Baba his nickname Dultul, directly translating to very soft. During his youth, Baba did many activities, including playing the violin. Baba loved playing music throughout his life, having come from a very musical family. Both of his sisters are very talented singers. He loved singing himself, and I even taught him how to play the piano a few years ago during the pandemic lockdowns. Baba was also very well travelled, especially for the 70s, as Dadu, Baba's dad, was the chief engineer of British Airways. They visited countries from the US to Australia, from Japan to England. The second chapter of Baba's life were his bachelor years in London. Having completed his O-levels at Le Martinet in India, a school he loved, at age 17 Baba decided to move to London for his A-levels. This was partially due to Dadu's recent illness affecting his grades, partially due to escape the Naxalite movement in Kolkata, and partially, I suppose, for the sense of adventure. Under the wing of Nirmal Dadu, Baba lived in the Catholic International Students Hostel in Manor House, supporting himself alongside his studies with jobs as a security guard, shop assistant in Trafalgar Square, and a ticket inspector at the London Zoo. After graduating with an accountancy degree and a few smaller roles, Baba soon became the senior finance officer for the London Borough of Hackney and bought a flat in Andrula Court in Wood Green. It was also during this time Baba got ingrained in the London Bengali community, or more specifically with the Islington Indian Association, hosting cultural events and the like. He also became an accredited badminton coach for the England Badminton Association and a trained play worker where he would mentor many young children in the North London Bengali community. The third chapter of Baba's life were as a family man in London. Partha married Meeta, my mother, on the 11th of May 1987. After living in Andrula Court for a few years, they decided it was too small to raise a family and so purchased a house on Hereward Gardens after recommendation from Arati Auntie, who lived on the same road. The year after, in August of 1992, my elder sister Priyanka was born, and 3 years later, in August of 1995, I was born. The next decade or so were very busy for both Ma and Baba, taking us to and from school, piano lessons, chess club, karate club, table tennis training, 11+ tuition, and the like. Although I think these busy days were his favourite, throwing us in the air as toddlers, taking us to the park almost every day, and taking us to Bengali house parties almost every weekend. Whether that was Didi and my birthday parties, with fresh green cakes, pujo at the Dennis Jackson Centre, New Year celebration at Milumashi's house, or simply going to Ranga Bibi's house for some cha and mantra. Baba also continued his love of travel, taking us to a whole host of countries, from India to the US to Russia and all around Europe. But greater than his love of travel was his love of films, television series and cartoons. I'd go so far to say it was an addiction. Many a morning we would see Baba had fallen asleep on the sofa with film 4 still on from the night before. And greater still was his love of food, particularly chanachur, a type of Bombay mix. He would even hide the packets in the car to hide them from, well, Ma. The fourth chapter were his relaxation days. As Didi and I grew older, we gained more independence, and in 2010 Didi went to the University of Birmingham, and in 2013 I went to the University of Cambridge, leaving an empty nest. This granted Baba more time to do the things he had previously neglected, being more active in the Tagore Society, spending more time on gardening, and perhaps spending too much time on YouTube and Wikipedia, sharpening up his very strong general knowledge. This continued into the pandemic and his eventual retirement from his role as a parking permit manager for the London Borough of Islington. However, a person's life is not simply a list of things they have done, and Baba was much more than that. To others, he was the man you could come to for practical life advice, or as a handyman, or simply for a chat. To him, everyone was a great friend, perhaps even to a fault. On the weekends, he would often go out for grocery shopping and talk the cashier's ear off, and then head to Rangapipi's for tea, and then drop to Arati Auntie's for another cup before coming home 4 hours later than he should have. Although these conversations were not frivolous, the rapport he built with others was genuine. He was a dependable friend and uncle, being able to gain the respect of all ages, mentoring those both younger and older than him. To me, he was my father, and he always said he lived through me and my sister. I, of course, look almost identical to him, but after I moved back home after university to work, and later stayed at home during the pandemic, Baba and I got very close. We would often spend whole evenings together talking about current events, politics, religion, life, arts, and the sciences. Even if Baba never really understood what my research was in, he would always give me his unconditional support. And he would unconditionally support Didi and I in everything we did. Whether that was my sister moving to Dubai, even though it meant he would see less of her, or me creating a YouTube channel at the age of 16, every video of which he would watch. But those late night conversations are what I'll miss the most. The person I could completely confide with, whatever troubles I had, he was truly my best friend. So, however you knew Baba or whatever you called him, Dul, Arthur with a P, Uncle Partha, Uncle P, Patoda, Mamu, Kaku, Dadu, Pai, Dada, Shuncho, or Baba. I hope you take your stories of him, tell them to others, and treasure them for the rest of your life.
Do you have any
I love you beyond words, Baba.
When we have completed it. Thank you.